Hare Krishna. All glories to His Divine Grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. All glories to His Divine Grace. Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj, my dear friend. So, Om Megana Timidanda Shagananjana Shlakaya Chakshur Unmeditam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So I'm very sorry I can't be with all the dear disciples of Bhakti Charu Maharaj today. I am traveling as this video is being played. I'm traveling around and carrying out the mission of Srila Prabhupada and actually going to be on an airplane. So, but I am with you in spirit. So, let me talk a little bit about my realizations about Bhakti Charu Maharaj. Of course, today is a very sad day for me. Just remembering my dear friend, actually, for many of you may not know that Bhakti Charu Maharaj was my very best friend in Krishna consciousness, or anywhere, at any time. And he had spent quite a bit of time here in North Carolina, which I'll speak about in a few minutes. But in any case, actually several years in North Carolina. In any case, I trusted him so much, excuse me, that I put him as the trustee for my will, because I was considering that I was going to pass away before he did. I never thought that he would leave this world. Whenever he was with me, he showed, as Srila Prabhupada would sometimes comment, the heart of a Bengali mother. He would immediately grab my hand and embrace me. I had never experienced so much love or loving exchanges as I did when I was with Bhakti Charu Maharaj. And always he would ask how I was doing, about my welfare, if I needed anything, invite me over for prasadam. He exhibited real culture, which I had never really seen before in anyone. Of course, Srila Prabhupada, obviously, but any one of my friends, associates in this world, I had never seen that sort of warmth, culture, love, concern, and I was basically overwhelmed perceiving that. His heart was, how can I describe it? It was actually very, very large, and he was loving towards everyone. I never saw him experience any sort of negative feeling, inimical feeling towards anyone. And of course, we understand that his passing away from this world is not like an ordinary soul passes away from this world because of karma, or even as an immature devotee passes away from this world because of unfinished devotional service, going to the heavenly planets, or taking birth in a devotee family in the next life. But he passed away to actually assist Srila Prabhupada in his pastimes. Because as we know, Srila Prabhupada always travels with his, what we call, entourage. Entourage means a group of devotees who assist him. This is similar to our understanding concerning the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. When Krishna comes somewhere, he comes with his associates, what we call the entourage. And just like Lord Chaitanya, you have the Panchatattva, and of course Krishna, his mother, his father, the residents of Vrindavan, his holy dham. Everything comes with, or everyone comes with a pure devotee when he appears in this world. So Bhakti Charu Maharaj is definitely part of Srila Prabhupada's, I guess we call, traveling Sankirtan party. And, there's several proofs of that. I mean, that was my personal realization, but there's objective proofs, such as his taking first and second initiation almost immediately upon meeting Prabhupada, and then afterwards, I think it was 3 months afterwards, he took sannyas from Srila Prabhupada, and he became Prabhupada's personal secretary and associated and served Prabhupada in the most intimate ways, especially during Prabhupada's final days. Prabhupada trusted him 100%. 100%. Prabhupada trusted him. So you can see that that connection with Prabhupada was eternal. And then, of course, that reminds me of my other dear God brothers, let's say Bhakti Maharaj and Tamal Krishna Maharaj. Right before Tamal Krishna Maharaj passed away, he understood he was going to join Prabhupada, and he even commented to the devotees as he offered obeisances to the Garuda Stamba outside the temple of Mayapur, that today, Garuda, you're going to take me. And then with Bhakti Maharaj, Bhakti Maharaj had this vision, realization. Actually, it was real, realization, vision, whatever. It's not just a vision. It's something that he actually realized, and saw, perceived, prajaksha, as they say in Sanskrit, that before Bhakti Maharaj passed away, Tamal Krishna Maharaj came to him and said, we have to go and serve Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is calling. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj said to Bhakti Maharaj, that I know that your disciples will be very brokenhearted, but mine were too. But Prabhupada is calling us. So Prabhupada was calling Bhakti Maharaj. We should not look at the departure of a great soul like Bhakti Maharaj, Bhakti Maharaj, or Tamal Krishna Maharaj as something ordinary. It is part of the Lord's plan, part of the plan of Krishna's pure devotee, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who was calling for his devotees to join him. And while he was on the planet, I could see his complete dedication, Bhakti Maharaj's dedication to Prabhupada's mission. I worked with him, of course, right by his side on the GBC. And being on the GBC, you could see someone's attitude towards Srila Prabhupada, towards Srila Prabhupada's mission, and toward his godbrothers. These are very important factors. And his attitude, towards the mission, completely dedicated, ready to do anything and everything, sacrificing his health and everything to serve the overall worldwide mission of His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. As Srila Prabhupada often said, the GBC may be in charge of a particular area for the body, but actually the GBC is responsible for the whole world, or the whole world of ISKCON. So he took that very, very seriously and was responsible for the whole world of ISKCON and took out so many responsibilities. And not only that, what impressed me more than anything else was that he worked as a team player on the GBC, not trying to assert superiority, although in many ways he knew more than many of our other godbrothers on the GBC, but still working as a team player. And Prabhupada said, this is actually what will help our movement go forth or continue. Love and trust. Love and trust means teamwork. And that's how a sporting team, any sports you may know, well, it's soccer, football, whatever you may call it, wins the game. Not by one player, but by everyone working together. And Bhakti Maharaj really stressed this. And his interactions or teamwork with the GBC did not mean that he wasn't concerned with the other devotees. His concern for all the devotees and his teamwork with all the devotees manifested itself in so many dramatic ways. I mean, one of the things that comes to mind, remembrances, is his dedication to trying to establish businesses, not for himself. I mean, obviously, he didn't need any businesses because he was so concerned with the welfare of the devotees who might have to associate or take association from those who were not Krishna conscious in order to support their families. He just didn't want devotees to actually deviate from Krishna consciousness because he understood, as Krishna says in the Gita, Karanam Guna Sangasha Sadasad Janma Jonishu, the cause of our entanglement in this material world is association with the modes of nature. So we have to be very careful. And of course, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stated, when he was asked about the quality of a Vaishnava, he stated, a satsanga chaga, a Vaishnava char. The quality of a Vaishnava is that he gives up bad association and has good association. So in order to do that, he established so many businesses. And that's why he was in North Carolina for so many years. And I was fortunate enough to have his association because he was working on one particular business here and to engage the devotees so they could work with each other and engage in sadhu sangha and maintain their families at the same time. And he was so generous. If any devotee had any financial needs, if any devotee needed to go to the Holy Dham and didn't have the means to do so, anything, any devotee in the movement, whether it was his disciple or wasn't his disciple, it didn't matter. He would send airplane tickets to devotees. He would help them with their medical needs. I mean, just like amazing, amazing, loving devotee. We need to learn from his mood and devotional service. I'm still just very inspired and, trying to instill this mood in my own heart so I can serve the devotees. Because as we know, Mahat Seva Mahur Vimuktes Tamodvaram Yoshitam Sangi Sangha. By serving the Vaishnavas, one can actually achieve Krishna's favor. Ultimately, we understand that he came to the United States in the final days before he left this world to join Srila Prabhupada with the intention of restarting or invigorating or pushing Srila Prabhupada's movement in the United States. He expressed to me and to many other devotees that he was very, very concerned. What was he concerned about? He was very concerned that the Krishna conscious movement in the United States had, to a certain extent, or perhaps a large extent, concentrated on preaching only to people who came from India. And he, of course, he was originally from India, we understand that, but he understood that Srila Prabhupada's intention was not just to preach to people from other places, but to preach to the people who were, let us say, for lack of a better word, natives in a place. And that would be success. Srila Prabhupada himself showed that when Prabhupada went to Africa and Brahmananda was just preaching to, let's say, the immigrants there who came from India. Prabhupada was not opposed to that, but Prabhupada wanted him to preach to what Prabhupada called, the native people. And Prabhupada pushed for that very much. So Bhakti Charu Maharaj, from my discussions with him and other people's discussions or talks with him, wanted to come to America to make sure that we focused to a large extent on preaching to the people, the Americans. And that's why he went to Orlando. And he was ready to sacrifice his life for that particular motive, that particular intention. Because he understood the danger of traveling at that particular time. He was not yet vaccinated. He wasn't vaccinated, of course. And COVID was rampant everywhere. And he had some health challenges that made it quite risky for him to travel. But he came to America because he understood the urgency of doing this. And this is something I really want to convey to his disciples. We're very happy that all of you are commemorating and remembering my dear friend Bhakti Maharaj. At the same time, remember his mission. What I often tell devotees about my relationship with Prabhupada is that whenever I make a decision, I think about what Prabhupada would say if he was here today. And of course, Prabhupada is here today when I remember Prabhupada like that. What would Prabhupada want me to do? And then I act according to that realization. So that is my humble request to all of you who are disciples, well-wishers of His Holiness Bhakti Maharaj. I do know in the future that I will be getting the association of Bhakti Maharaj again, because he is eternally serving Prabhupada, so I look very much forward, and I know that I will have his association, and I relish the association with his dear disciples who are very dedicated to him and his mission. So again, I am sorry I cannot be with you today on this Tirubhava, the commemoration of his disappearance, which came as a shock to all of us. And please remember his mission. Try to internalize, as Srila Prabhupada stated in the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, when the spiritual master leaves the planet, the disciple should be dedicated to the mission of the spiritual master. So please do this to please His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare